The anger over President Trump's reported vulgar talk on immigration is now closer to forcing a government shutdown. Congress needs to pass some kind of spending bill by Friday, but now that is in jeopardy over GOP plans to phase out the DACA program that protects young undocumented immigrants. Nancy Cordes is on Capitol Hill. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning. And some Democrats are saying they will not vote to fund the government at the end of this week unless Republicans embrace a bipartisan solution for the so-called dreamers, young people who were brought to this country illegally. And that is raising the possibility of the first government shutdown since 2013.
I urge the president to lead us to that bipartisan solution. Mr. President, close the deal.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham called on the president to broker a solution for DACA that also fixes a broken immigration system.
It's not going to be done on Twitter, by tweeting. It's going to be done by talking.
President Trump returned from his Florida resort to a feud in Washington over the future of the Dreamers and a government funding deadline. A bipartisan group of senators did reach agreement on a replacement for DACA last week.
We prepared a bill, a bipartisan bill, that hit all four elements the president asked for.
And the president said he'd sign a bill brought to his desk.
I'm not going to say, oh, gee, I want this or I want that. I'll be signing it.
But that's the deal the president rejected in that now infamous meeting where he referred to some Caribbean and African countries as expletive holes.
The exact word used by the president.
Mr. Trump tweeted on Monday that Illinois Democrat Dick Durbin totally misrepresented what was said in that meeting and that Durbin blew DACA.
I stick with my original interpretation.
Durbin says a divide over immigration policy is the real problem.
If the president will keep his word as of last Tuesday, if he'll move forward and endorse this bipartisan agreement, we can get this done this week.
Some Democrats believe a government funding bill is the leverage they need to demand a compromise on Dreamers. Senate Republicans need at least 9 Democratic votes to pass any measure to fund the government past this Friday's deadline. Republicans warn that if there is a government shutdown, Democrats would get the blame. And privately, some Democrats worry about that possibility. The best hope for some kind of bipartisan solution now appears to be, John, the talks that are quietly going on between the number 2 Democrat and Republican in the House and Senate. But they're going to have to come up with something pretty quickly.
And then convince the president. Thanks so much, Nancy.